Good morning, children. So, the series of metallurgy, the process of metallurgy, it's going on. So, this is going to be the third video, okay, in which we have to learn for the extraction methods, okay, how metals are being extracted, okay, from their ores. This is the second principle which we have to move on to, right? So, the first principle which we have already studied in our previous video, okay, ore dressing methods we have studied. So, in this video, I am going to start the extraction methods, okay. So, before we go for the extraction of metals from their ores, okay. So, first we have to learn about the reactivity series, okay, because the total process of extraction totally depends on reactivity series, okay. So, let us learn what is reactivity series. So, reactivity series, it is the arrangement of metals in the decreasing order of their reactivity, okay. The arrangement of metals are arranged in a particular order, okay. The arrangement of metals in the decreasing order of their reactivity, decreasing order of their reactivity is called reactivity series, okay. Now, all metals are arranged in the decreasing order of their reactivity. All metals are not equally reactive. Some are highly reactive, some are moderately reactive, and some are very less reactive. So, based on their reactivity, okay, the arrangement of metals in the decreasing order of reactivity, you call it as reactivity series. So, why we have to learn about this reactivity series? Because the total extraction process depends on the reactivity of metals only, okay. So, this order you call it as reactivity series. So, what is that order? Let us learn the order, okay. K, Na, Ca, Mg, Al, okay. Then comes Zn, zinc, iron, lead, and then comes H, hydrogen, and then comes Cu, Ag, silver, Hg, mercury, Au, and finally platinum. Please, all of you, please listen carefully what I say, okay. So, this is the order of metals. K, potassium, highly reactive metal, and then comes sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium. So, these metals which are arranged in this order, these are highly reactive metals, okay. Now, highly reactive metals, all of you please understand carefully, these are highly reactive metals, okay, highly reactive metals. And then comes zinc, Zn stands for zinc, Fe, ferrum, iron, okay, Pb, lead, okay. And then hydrogen, this is hydrogen, okay. These are moderately reactive, metals, moderately reactive metals. And then comes some noble metals like copper, silver, and Hg stands for mercury, hydroargyrum, Au, aurum, gold, Pt, platinum. So, these are what? Least reactive metals, least reactive, okay. So, highly reactive metals, and you need to remember this order of metals in this order only, because mostly we come across these metals, extraction of these metals, okay. So, that's why we will be learning about these metals and the reactivity order in that way only, in that order only you have to remember. Okay, so K, Na, Ca, Mg, Al. These are what? Highly reactive metals. Then comes zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen. Hydrogen, actually it's not a metal. It is a non-metal, but still it is placed in the reactivity series of metals. There is a reason for this. Okay, I'll just tell you what is the reason. Why hydrogen is being placed in reactivity series of metals. That is also one small important question you are going to get. Right? And then comes noble metals like copper, silver, mercury, gold and platinum. Okay, so this is the order in which metals are arranged in the decreasing order of their reactivity. So highly reactive metal, the most vigorously reactive. Reactivity in with what? Reactivity means either with air or with water, moisture or with oxygen or with chlorine, anything. Okay, these metals which are on the top of the reactivity series, you call them as highly reactive metals. Okay, so these metals which are there on the top, this is called as topmost metals, top of the reactivity series, and this is middle of the reactivity series. I think you can able to see the word. Yes, middle of the reactivity series, and these are on the bottom line of the reactivity series. The metals which are there on the top of the reactivity series. Today we are going to learn about the extraction methods for the metals which are there on the top of the reactivity series. Okay, so this is the order, and this order you call it as reactivity series. And to remember this order, you have to make your own mnemonics. I think you have idea of mnemonics. Okay, mnemonics. To remember certain series in that order only, you will make certain mnemonics. Okay, so I'll just tell you one small mnemonic in Telugu. Okay, so that most of my viewers will be Telugu people. Okay, whatever it may be. KNACAMGAL. Kanaka Mahalakshmi Alludu. Okay, Kanaka Mahalakshmi Alludu. AL stands for Alludu, something like that. You just keep Kanaka Mahalakshmi Alludu. Jaffa, somebody with name Jaffa. Jaffa is a waste fellow actually, you know. Right, Jaffa. PB, pa sound is coming. So, Pelliki, Hyderabad vachadu. Kanaka Mahalakshmi Alludu, Jaffa, Pelliki, Hyderabad vachadu. Okay, Ka, copper, Ka sound is coming. Katnam. Costly metals like Ag, Hg, Au, Pt. He has taken Katnam, dowry. He has taken all these metals as dowry. Something like that. You make your own mnemonic to remember. Okay, to remember that series, that order. Okay, that all metals in that order only. Make your own mnemonics. Okay, but you must remember them in that order only. Okay, so this is what you call it as reactivity series. So in today's topic, we are going to learn about the extraction methods for the metals which are there on the top of the reactivity series. Okay, that means for highly reactive metals, what is the method of extraction? Second principle we are moving on to. Okay, what is the second principle? Extraction of crude metal. So depending on reactivity only, extraction process depends, right? So let us move on to the process. So extraction of metals. Methods for extraction. Methods for extraction of metals. First I'll introduce and then we'll deal with how extraction process takes place. Extraction methods. Okay, this is second principle which is there in extraction process. Okay, now metallurgical process. So extraction methods for the metals which are on the top of reactivity series, you will follow one method. Which are in the middle of the reactivity series, middle of the reactivity series, you will follow one method, and which are at the bottom of the reactivity series, you will follow another method. Okay, for the metals which are on the top of the reactivity series, okay, you will follow, generally you will follow the method called electrolysis. Electrolysis, we'll discuss in detail, of course. We'll follow the method called electrolysis. Okay, and for the metals which are in the middle of the reactivity series, what are those? Just recall: zinc, Jaffa. Okay, now zinc, iron, lead, and hydrogen. I forgot to tell you why hydrogen is being placed in the middle of the reactivity series of metals. Okay, hydrogen also forms cations like how metals form cations. That's why hydrogen is placed in the middle of the reactivity series of metals. Even though it is a non-metal, even though hydrogen is a non-metal, it is placed in metal reactivity series. Why? You will be getting 1 mark question on this. Why? Because hydrogen forms cations as that of metals. That's why it is placed in the metal reactivity series. Even though it is a non-metal, it forms cations. Please remember. Okay. So, middle of the reactivity series, for them what methods you will follow? You will follow reduction methods. Reduction methods, okay, like calcination and roasting. Okay, now calcination and roasting. Okay, and sometimes auto reduction methods or self reduction methods you will be following. Okay, we'll discuss each and everything in detail. Okay, and then the which are in the bottom of the reactivity series. Okay, we go for the process of complex formations. Complex formations. Okay, now complex formations means formation of complex compounds. Okay, we'll learn about that. So based on the reactivity, 3 methods will be there. Okay, which are on the top, we go for the process called electrolysis. For the middle of the reactivity series, we go for the process called reduction using reducing agents, and using methods called calcination and roasting methods, smelting using flux and all. Okay, different furnaces you will use. So all those comes under the middle of the reactivity series, for the category of middle of reactivity series. And for the metals which are at the bottom of the reactivity series, for them formation of complex compounds. Okay, so today's topic we are going to learn. In today's video, I am going to explain only about the first one. Okay, I am going to explain only about the first one. So extraction methods for the metals which are on the top of the reactivity series. Okay, so let us go for the process. Extraction method for the metals which are on the top of the reactivity series. So which metals are topping the reactivity series? Let us recall once again. Kanaka, Mahalakshmi, Alludu. Right? These 5 metals are highly reactive. Right? These 5 metals are highly reactive. Why we say that they are highly reactive? Why we say they are highly reactive? Because they have the tendency to lose electrons readily. They can form cations readily. Okay, they have the tendency to lose electrons readily. Okay, so that's why they are highly reactive. Okay, they can form ions very easily. That's why they are highly reactive. Okay, so for these metals, what are the extraction methods? I already told you we go for the method called electrolysis. Okay, so first of all, let us learn in what form they exist. Okay, in the form of ores. They exist in the form of ores. Right? If you go for potassium, potassium exists like KCl, MgCl2, 6H2O. You come across an ore, right? KCl, MgCl2, 6H2O, which is carnallite. Did you remember carnallite? In this K is there Mg is there. Both are highly reactive, right? So they exist in the form of an ore. From that ore only we have to separate that potassium or magnesium, anything, isn't it? In what form they will exist? In the form of ores. These ores, in what form they exist? These ores of highly reactive metals exist either in the form of halides or oxides. Please remember this point. This also they may ask in the exam. The ores of the metals which are there on the top of the reactivity series, they exist either in the form of halides or in the form of oxides. Okay, halides means halogens. They may be having the combination with the halogens or with oxygen. See here chlorine is there, halogen. Chlorine is a halogen, right? So the metals, highly reactive metals in the form of ores, they exist either in the form of halides or in the form of oxides. So this is a halide ore of potassium and magnesium, carnallite, right? Okay, then if you go for calcium, calcium exists like CaO, calcium oxide, quicklime, ore form, right? And then magnesium, I already told you. And of course, calcium can exist as CaSO4 also, like a sulfate ore, which is called as gypsum, you know, gypsum, right? And then aluminium exists like Al2O3 bauxite, oxide ore. See here again, oxide. I just told you, no, either halides or oxides. Okay, bauxite is an oxide ore. Al2O3 dot 2H2O, bauxite, oxide ore, isn't it? So the metals which are on the top of the reactivity series in the form of ores, either they exist as halides, halide ores or oxide ores. Okay, so let us learn the methods for extraction, electrolysis process, right children? Okay, please make a note. Okay, please make a note of what teacher says. Okay, that's a kind request. Okay, now let us learn the extraction methods. I just told you that we go for the method called what? For the metals which are there on the top of the reactivity series, we use a method called electrolysis. So what is electrolysis? Electrolysis, the decomposition of a substance into its ions by passing electricity through it. Okay, the decomposition of a substance. What is electrolysis? The decomposition means what? Breaking down. Decomposition of a substance into its ions. Decomposition of a substance into its ions by passing what? By passing electricity through it. By passing electricity through it. You call it as what? Electrolysis. From childhood onwards you were learning the definition, right? Okay. So for the process of electrolysis to carry out, what you require? What are the requirements for the electrolysis? Recall in your lower classes also you have learned about this. You require one electrolyte. Okay. You require one electrolyte. What is electrolyte? The liquid through which the current is made to pass through. You require one electrolyte. Okay. Electrolyte. Okay. And then you require cathode, which is considered to be a negative terminal. Negative terminal. You call it as cathode. Generally you call it as cathode. And anode. 2 electrodes, 2 metal plates you require. Okay, 2 metal plates. 2 metal plates you require. One is cathode and another is anode, which is considered to be what? Positive terminal. Okay, so you require 3 things. One electrolytic tank. In that one electrolyte you require. And cathode and anode. So in what way we have to take them? What type of substance you should take as electrolyte? That's very much important here. All of you, please listen carefully here. So here you must take molten substance. Molten substance you must take as electrolyte. Okay, electrolyte. Electrolyte must be. This is very important point. Condition for the electrolyte must be which type? Molten electrolyte only you should take. Okay, molten electrolyte. What is molten electrolyte? Okay, suppose NaCl is there. NaCl. Okay, NaCl can exist in two ways. One is molten and another is aqueous. Another is aqueous. Molten means only in a melted condition. That's it. Melted condition. Liquid form. How it has turned into liquid? By melting it. That one you call it as molten NaCl. Aqueous means with water. You know that aqua means water. But here, what type of electrolyte you must take? Molten electrolyte only you must take. Sometimes they may use the word fused also. Fused. Molten or fused, but not aqueous. Please remember that point. You are not supposed to take aqueous NaCl. Okay, or aqueous substance. Any aqueous substance you must not take. You must take only molten NaCl or molten KCl. Okay, no water at all. Okay, why we should not take aqueous? Because if you take aqueous substance, okay, our main aim is to get what? Metal. But in preference to metal, if you take water or aqueous form, you will not get metal at cathode. Instead of metal, you will get hydrogen gas. What is our requirement? Our requirement is to extract metal from the ore. KCl, of course, you have taken. NaCl you have taken, suppose. What is the metal in that? Sodium is the metal. So what we want? We want sodium metal to be extracted from NaCl. Okay, now we don't want water. Okay, so if you take aqueous NaCl, you will not get molten metal there. You will get hydrogen gas. So you are not supposed to take aqueous. This question you will be getting for 2 marks. Please remember carefully. Okay, why we are not supposed to take aqueous? Aqueous, no, not required, because we want molten metal. If you take aqueous solution as electrolyte, what you will get at cathode? You will get hydrogen gas at cathode, which we don't want at all. Okay, we want what? We want metal. Okay, so you must take molten NaCl only or molten KCl only. Okay, that is the main condition. And what type of electrodes you should take? Electrodes must be inert electrodes. Inert electrodes. Inert means what? Non-reacting electrodes. Non-reacting metal plates. Non-reacting metal plates. You must take them as electrodes. Okay. So, what are the examples for inert electrodes? Inert means non-reacting. Please remember. The best example for them are what? You can take the example for inert electrodes as graphite rods. Cathode, anode, which type of substances you should take? Graphite rods you can take or platinum. Of course, highly expensive. Platinum rods, inert. They are least reactive metals, no? So much difference won't be there. Okay, if you take highly reactive metals, they start melting first when you pass electricity through it. So you must take what type of electrodes? Inert electrodes. Okay, so inert electrodes means what? Non-reacting electrodes. So cathode and anode can be either graphite rods or platinum rods, or sometimes in some textbooks they may give steel rods. These all are what? Inert electrodes. Please remember that point. Okay, so for the process of electrolysis, our main requirements are what? Electrolyte must be molten but not aqueous, and electrodes must be inert electrodes. Okay, so what happens if you pass electricity through it? This process you all know, no? Right, dear children? So if you pass electricity through it, what happens? The molten NaCl splits into its ions. That's it. There ends the matter, isn't it? See here. So you will take the process. Let us learn the process. Electrolytic process. You are going to take molten NaCl or KCl in an electrolytic tank. This is electrolytic tank. Okay. What type of substance you should take as electrolyte? Please remember molten NaCl. Mostly we will take Example for NaCl only, rock salt. Okay, it is only being given in your textbook, so you have to better use molten NaCl. It's taken as electrolyte. Okay, and here you are going to use two metal plates which acts as what, ma? Cathode and anode. Okay, these are made up of what? Graphite rods. Graphite rods. Okay, graphite rods, both are graphite rods. Here also, this is also graphite. Okay, they are connected with a battery, high voltage battery. Okay, you all know. So the one which is connected to the negative terminal, positive terminal, here this is positive, this is negative. Better I'll take here this to be like this. Okay, the negative terminal, you call it as cathode, and this will be your anode. Okay, so when electricity is made to pass through it, what happens? What happens? This NaCl splits into its ions. NaCl splits into Na plus and Cl minus ions. Isn't it? NaCl splits into Na plus and Cl minus ions. Then what happens to these Na plus ions? Na plus ions will migrate towards cathode. Okay, Na plus ions gets migrate towards cathode. Cathode is negative terminal and these are positively charged ions. Okay, so positively charged cations migrate towards cathode and they get deposited. They get deposited on cathode like this. Metal deposition will happen. Okay, now cathode, on cathode sodium deposit. Sodium gets deposited, coated. Okay, now sodium gets deposited on cathode. Okay, so Na plus ions migrate towards cathode and takes electrons from cathode and gets deposited on cathode as molten sodium. Okay, please understand carefully. Okay, so sodium metal we got off, isn't it? Our aim is to do what? Extract sodium from sodium chloride, or if you take potassium, potassium from potassium chloride, right? Anything, the process happens in the same way, right? So Na plus plus electrons gives rise to Na. Okay, molten metal gets deposited, metal deposition happens here. Okay, this happens at what? At cathode. At cathode. Okay, this happens at cathode. Please remember. Right, and coming to chloride ions. What happens to chloride ions? Chloride ions, Cl minus ions. Okay, they convert into Cl by losing one electron. Cl minus ions convert into Cl. Of course, 2 Cl minus, 2 electrons. Here also you can take 2 Na plus, 2 electrons, 2 Na. Okay, because single Cl won't exist. Cl exists. Cl comes out in the form of Cl2, right? Chlorine gas. This happens at anode. This happens at anode. Okay, so like this you are going to get molten Na, deposition of metal near anode, cathode, and at anode you will get chlorine gas. Okay, you will get chlorine gas. Okay, so these are the reactions. So generally how you will write the reactions? Once again I say, at cathode, what's going to happen at cathode? Metal deposition is going to happen at cathode. At cathode, okay, 2 Na plus 2 electrons gives rise to 2 Na. Metal deposition happens. Metal deposition happens at cathode. Generally at cathode, what process happens? Please remember, in any electrolysis process, reduction happens. In any electrolysis process, reduction happens at cathode. At cathode, reduction happens. What is reduction? Gain of electrons. What is reduction? Gain of electrons. Here who is gaining electrons? Sodium plus ions. Na plus ions are gaining electrons and converting into sodium metal, and that is getting deposited on cathode. And at anode what happens? At anode oxidation happens always in any electrolysis process. Please remember, at cathode reduction happens and at anode oxidation happens. Okay now, please remember, at cathode reduction happens and at anode oxidation happens. Right? What is oxidation? Loss of electrons. As I have written already there, 2Cl minus gives rise to Cl2 plus 2 electrons. Okay, so loss of electrons. Electrons came out. Loss of electrons is called what? Oxidation. Okay, reduction means gain of electrons. Oxidation means loss of electrons. Okay, so this is how sodium gets deposited in at cathode, and that's how during the process of electrolysis metal deposition can happen. Okay, so this is how electrolysis takes place in for the metals which are on the top of the reactivity series. Okay, I hope all of you have understood. Please keep repeating the video if you are in a confusion, because I am just telling it a little bit faster, I know that. Okay, and please make a notes and keep practicing. Happy learning all of you. Please remember children, every time I say your hard work is your superpower. Okay, so all the best, happy learning, and thank you all. Please subscribe to my channel.